lot of guys that I've talked to, and you, especially you, including you, they tend to have this difficulty of trying to overcome the sadness, the depression that you have to uh, go through after a breakup. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually deal with breakup, what to do after the breakup. Now, this video is only for perfectionists. So if you're not a perfectionist, please click off. I'm joking, right? If you're not a perfectionist, you're still here. And I still want you to understand how to deal with breakups. And this is for men only. And because I myself is a perfectionist, so this video will be focused on the behaviors and the personality of a perfectionist and how this personality or this behavior can affect how you deal with breakups. But if you're not a perfectionist, then it's okay, keep on watching, because this is very helpful for you. And you can also, this is also universal, so you can apply this to your own self. Okay, so what I think is that why you're here is because you know that yourself, you made a rookie mistake. As you can see here, this is in your display. So I'm trying to use my iPad to show displays, and I hope you like it, right? So here we can see that, here we can see for perfectionists, how to deal with breakups and the sad emoji face, right? We have, I'm going to be talking about the rookie mistake, the endless cycle of chasing validation, and then lastly, I'm going to be talking about the cost of love is grief. Let's get on to it. So, as we can see here, we have a crying face, right? I hope you like that drawing. I'm not an art student, so don't, this is, I think that's eyes, and maybe I just do that. Nope, that made it worse. That made it worse. You know what? It's fine. So, how do you deal with breakup, right? The first thing that I want to be talking about is the rookie mistake. What is this rookie mistake, right? I'm just going to use green. Where is it? Oh, you have to change colors. Okay, so we have here the, it's green. We have here first, this is the rookie mistake. Okay, so what is this rookie mistake, right? The rookie mistake is basically, if you are yourself a perfectionist, right? We have to know what is a perfectionist first, right? Because if you are yourself, you are a perfectionist, you have to know, you must understand who you are, who your identity is or was, right? Which I'm going to be talking about in this video. And you have to know how yourself, how your identity, how you end up here, and how you dealt with breakups. So a perfectionist is none other than, if we're talking about in a relationship, right? A perfectionist, we can also call a perfectionist, well, as a result of a perfectionist, as a result, hold on, why is it not? Why is it not moving? Where should I put this? It's my first time using it. Okay, you know what? Let's just do it here. As a result of perfectionist, this is what you became. So first, this is kind of weird. Okay, how about just down here? So as a result of a perfectionist, right? This is what you became. First, you might became a nice guy. You might became a people pleaser. You might, perhaps if this is you can relate to in your work or in your career or in your academics, you are an overachiever. Now, you can also become this perfectionist in both aspects. You can become both in relationship aspect of your life and also in your work or career aspect of your life. So you have to answer that for yourself. You have to understand that, because an overachiever is someone who works really, really hard and is not emotionally stable and is not emotionally mature, right? So someone who works really, really hard in their work or in their career, right? And a people pleaser is someone that pleases people. I mean, we can see from the word itself, someone that gives people what they want without acknowledging their own needs, right? Giving the need of others without oneself, without like acknowledging oneself, right? I'm not gonna write it all down because I don't think we have space here. I don't think we have enough space. All right. So yeah, that is the result of a perfectionist. A nice guy. What is a nice guy? A nice guy is someone who um, someone who is too kind in order for them to receive some kind of prize, um, some kind of love. You can just say love, right? This is the result of a perfectionist. So these are just examples, right? And you can see for yourself, you can find out for your own self. Do you fall into one of these, like, one of these behaviors, one of these personality? Are you a nice guy? Are you a people pleaser? Are you an overachiever? Perhaps you can apply it to your relationship or to your work or to your career. You always say yes to your boss, right? You always say yes when your partner wants to do something in your business, let's say. Or do you say yes to a woman that you're in a relationship with? Perhaps you want to buy her something and you just keep saying yes to buying her this thing, right? Do you do that? If you fall into one of these, then this video is for you. If you don't, just keep watching, because this is very important, just as this universal way on how to deal with breakups. So what I notice a lot of people, right? The rookie mistake, especially for perfectionists, is that every time we're done with a relationship, every time we need to go through a breakup, we can't. It's like literally we cannot, coming from an experience of myself. So I've actually been with a couple of women in my life. I know I'm still young. Again, this channel is not a relationship advice channel. I'm not a relationship guru coach, because I don't think anyone knows on how to foster. No one knows how to actually build the best relationship, right? That's why for perfectionists, every single time, from the word itself, what is a perfectionist? Someone that wants to be perfect, right? Someone that chases validation, chases achievements and stuff, not only in his work, but also in his relationship. Because what was my mistake? This is the rookie mistake, is that first, the mistake is because we're perfectionists, we keep on chasing validation, right? And what does that mean? That may be one of the reasons on why your relationship downgraded, why your relationship went to the other side, right? Why your relationship didn't go well. Perhaps it's because you keep on chasing validation. Why? Because you turn to the nice guy, where you are in a relationship where you give the person too much, where you give your significant other, the woman that you're with, the queen, too much, to the point that she actually, maybe she likes it or maybe she doesn't like it. But perhaps there's this one point where she keeps on being angry at you, she keeps on being mad at you, and then you give her too much. You just say yes to whatever in order to keep conflict from occurring. And so what happened is you will hold that burden, you will hold that heavy load of needing to say yes to everything she says, needing to comply and to conform to whatever the relationship wants to go through, and there is no conflict, there is no ups and downs, and you just say yes to everything. And what will it will lead to, because your mind will think that, oh, okay, then I say yes all the time and she's not giving me back any love. Like, let's say even though you keep on saying yes, even though you comply and conform to whatever she says, she still doesn't satisfy you in a way, right? The word satisfy. She doesn't satisfy you in a way, right? And if she doesn't satisfy, then what will you do? You will satisfy yourself, right? And what does satisfying yourself look like? Satisfying yourself, it looks like giving or wanting or desiring the unconditional love that you want from her, but you didn't get it. So what you're gonna do is that because you don't have that, because you don't have that satisfaction from your woman, from your queen, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna actually ask her for it, right? You're gonna find that validation from her, because you, as a perfectionist, you want to keep on chasing validation. You want to keep on trying to achieve something. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to satisfy yourself, your needs, right? And again, if you don't understand this, and I will explain it in a few bits, in a few more points, right? But what I want you to understand here, the reason you keep on having this rookie mistake of being sad and not being able to actually stay with the breakup, right? It's because you want to keep on chasing validation as a perfectionist, right? And you want to satisfy yourself with the unconditional love that you didn't get. And in order for you to satisfy yourself, on how to do that is you will build what we call the defense mechanism. Now, this defense mechanism is in order for you to think, okay, so when I give love, when I'm really, really kind, she does not give me kindness back. Or she does not, or this is too heavy for me. I don't want to say yes all the time. A lot of scenarios can happen. It's either perhaps you give too many kind things, not things, but you give this unconditional love to her, saying yes to her, being like the quote unquote mother to her, right? That's going to be a very important point in the next points. You see her as this mother that you have to take care. You have to baby her, right? You have to comply and conform every single time to her, and perhaps you hold that burden, or you hold that heavy load for the longest time, and then you will suddenly lash out to the person. That's where the life crisis happens. Or perhaps you give kindness, but she doesn't give back. That heavy load, or that heavy burden, or that heavy disruption in your nervous system, or you find it annoying, right? Whatever that is, you are not able to actually communicate with the person, communicate with the significant other in a more mature way. Why? Because you are emotionally immature, right? You are emotionally immature. Oh my god, I keep on changing colors. Why did it turn into that? Okay. Immature. You are emotionally immature, right? If you are a perfectionist, you are emotionally immature. Again, listen to my words. If you are a perfectionist, you are emotionally immature. Now, this does not only go for perfectionists. This goes for any other types, personalities, anyone else, right? But you have to know that whatever personality that you have, that you know that it's sort of like this problem in a relationship, especially because everyone wants a relationship, right? The reason you're watching this video is because you want to foster a healthy relationship with a female, with a woman, with a queen, and build a very healthy, long-lasting, fulfilling family. And so you can become the best father that you can to your son, to your daughters, to your wife, right? To a brother as well. And this is for you. So you must know that you're emotionally immature, right? And the reason you're emotionally immature is the next point that I want to be talking about, right? So before we get into the next point, you have to know already that you have this defense mechanism, right? This defense mechanism in order for you to satisfy yourself. And how does it work? Is first, you don't receive love, right? I'm gonna just repeat it again so I can remind you so you understand. You don't receive love. So what you do is, in order for you to get love, you must fight for love, because you think you have this belief system. Now, a belief system can also get into place. Now, I'm going to be talking about it in the next points, but you have to know that you don't receive love, and you want to get love, and you want to fight for love, right? In order for you to do that, because you're emotionally immature, right? You cannot communicate easily. You need to fulfill your lack of dependency needs, right? If you're a nice guy, then you have those needs. You have to receive unconditional love from the partner, from the person, in order to satisfy yourself. That's very selfish. That's very immature, but it's okay. That's why you're watching this video, right? You want to find out more about yourself, and that's good. Give a pat on yourself for that. Give a pat on your back, on yourself, whatever that is, right? You want to fulfill your dependency needs, right? So, and how you do that is by perhaps lashing out, arguing. This also might be the reason perhaps you keep on having arguments. It's because you're just trying to have your needs met. You're just trying to fulfill your needs, right? And as a perfectionist, you have the number one needs that I'm going to be talking about in another point, but yeah, the number one need that you need to fulfill as a perfectionist is the lack of unconditional love. But before that, make sure you know that you don't receive love, you get love, you fight for love. And in order for you to actually gain that unconditional love, you will lash out, you will argue for it, right? Let's say, just try to think of an example yourself. What in your previous relationship, what happened? Like what? Just think about, like, how did you break up? Why did you break up? Who did you break up with? Why did you break up? And what was your mistake as a perfectionist during that relationship with your significant other or with your ex now, right? What happened there, right? And mine, for me, what happened is that this is actually me. So if you draw like a person here, right? This is me, and this is the girl. Let's say this is her, right? Now, like all the time. So if she does, how should I draw here? Yeah. So if you look at this, right? This is normal relationship. There's love there, but I still see this person as my mother, right? Mom. And what will happen is that because we see this person, right, as a mom, we will try to find the qualities, we will try to imitate or find the qualities and personalities in order to match mom, because of how much we have this connection, right? How much we're too attached to mom, right? Don't you love your mom, right? You love your mom, right? Your mom is the birth giver, right? So for perfectionists, you must already know that you're actually too attached to mom, right? Perhaps your mom is a perfectionist, or perhaps your dad is a perfectionist. You're not, who knows, right? But in my opinion, this is my story, right? This is my story. My story is that I'm too attached to mom. That's what I learned. That's what I think I am. And then what happens is that if I see her, if I'm attached to mom and I see her as I want her to be this parent, as I want her to be mom, so I will see whatever qualities that matches my mom in her. And that's where all the problems begun, right? I thought that she can be also, because my mom is a perfectionist, she's very strict with things, and I want her to be like exactly like my mom. And what happens is that I disagree, I have this like defense mechanism in me. I have this shield in me to disagree whatever she does, right? Let's say she does like this small problem. Oh, like I overreact all of a sudden, and then suddenly she does this problem, and then I overreact again, and she does this problem, and then I just lash out to her and whatever. No, all my mind is filled with this, full of rage and fury, of just lashing out and just overreacting and stuff. And her mistake is just small. Her mistake is just, it's just these, right? Like it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep, right? But because the reason is that my nervous system is still stuck in that belief system of, not really a belief system, or in that core attachment, or I'm in that attachment with mom, with the motherly world, right? If you think of the motherly world is care, we have warmth, we have, I keep on changing, bro. We have unconditional love. So what I was trying to do is to find that unconditional love from my partner, and how does that result? It's pretty bad, right? The reason why I'm making this whole video is because of that seek, or because of that search of the unconditional love from the partner. Because I mean, we all know from the outside now that our partner is not our mom, right? We're not looking at our partner for a parent. We're not trying to see the person as a parent. This goes, I mean, this is not only for men, this is for women as well. Like, you don't want to see the other person as your parent. You don't want to see your other person as your dad or as your mom, or else your relationship will not go far, and you will keep on suffering, right? Because you're still finding, you still lack some of those needs that you didn't get during your childhood. Now, this whole channel is about childhood wound. It's all about how to heal your wound, how to heal the boy within. That's why I'm always thinking back to needs, because perhaps you didn't get the unconditional love that you were supposed to from your mom or from your dad, or you didn't get validated from your mom or from your dad. It might be during when you were an infant, or when you were, maybe it was during when you were a toddler, or you were in your preschool age, or in your school age, or perhaps adolescence, your adult age. That's why I'm talking about all this, is because you need to find out yourself about your old story. What was your old story like, right? Because that is equivalent to however you react or however you behave within a relationship, right? You have to understand yourself really, really much here. And for me, because I cannot talk to you, right? I cannot, hello, right? I cannot talk to you one-on-one. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, there's a link down below. This is not any coaching, right? I'm not doing coaching yet and all that, because I'm also trying to learn myself first. I'm trying to see how I can work with people. But I have a link down below in order for you to check it out. If you want to have a talk with me, if you want to talk to me about your problems, about, I'm not a therapist, but I want to understand what is people's problems, how are they actually dealing with these relationship stuff, and if they actually need help with. And if that's you, if you're also a perfectionist like me, then that's perfect perfectionist, right? That's perfect, right? So if you want to click the link down below and you want to check it out, you can book a Calendly call with me, and we can just have a chat, become friends, talk. I can tell my story, you can tell your story, and perhaps we can relate to each other. We can be friends and all that, right? So it's a win-win. There's no lose-lose, whatever that is. Anyways, so this is the old story. You have to understand your own story, right? The reason why I keep on lashing out because she does small things is because I want it all to be perfect. I want her to be this 10 out of 10 girl or woman. And if I see that she's not equivalent to that, then I will lash out, or I will argue so much about it, right? Now, I mean, doing all this is fine, But to the point where you're overly doing it, that's not fine, right? To the point where it's not normal. Well, how do you know normal, right? If you think of homeostasis, right? This is I'm talking about biology here. If you think of homeostasis, right? Homeostasis. This is, if you know homeostasis is what is the definition of homeostasis, right? What I know about I don't even remember. Man, if there's any biology students watching, bro, I take biology, but I got a really, really bad grade for biology, so don't mind me here. But what I know about homeostasis is that there's the level here, right? The optimum level, right? And the optimum level, it keeps on decreasing, right? It keeps on having that like sinusoidal, or the sine graph type of loop, right? So this here is like negative feedback, right? We have here negative feedback. Let me put it here, negative feedback. And this negative feedback is like every time you reach outside of outside of the optimum level, the system, right, will go inside back again. And when we reach down, it will go back again. And when we reach too far, it will go back again. So what I'm talking about here is that if you go overly, right, there will always be this negative feedback that comes back. And that negative feedback is basically your life crisis. Because if you are going too far, right, if you're, I mean, this is God himself as well. This is God working in mysterious ways. And this is just, how do we say this? This is not metaphysics, is it? But what I understand is that if you do something that is too much, or you're too overly attached to something that will satisfy you so much, then God will bring you back to your optimum level by testing you, by giving you a challenge, by humbling you. I think that's the best word. A humbling, right? So you're going back to your optimum level is like you being humbled by God himself. What I read God in red. Let me write him in white. Right? Right? You are being humbled by God himself. Why? Because if you can see here, you keep on lashing out, you keep on arguing, you're just overreacting to things, right? And in order for God to actually tell you, like, bro, let's say my name, Jafaro, this is not you. This is you're doing too much of this lashing out and overreacting to this person. You're hurting this person, right? And what's God's gonna do? Okay, yeah, we have to put you back to optimum level. We have to humble you. You have to learn. This is just the basic life cycle, right? That you have to understand. And I want you to understand that this breakup that you went through, or that you're going through right now, or you're perhaps in a relationship and you want to break up, in whatever position that you are in right now in your life situation, you have to know that there's this life cycle. You have to know that God will humble you, will put you back into optimum level, into where you get that clarity, get that click. And this video is sort of the guidance or the calling into that clarity, clarification of this whole situation of your own breakup, right? So, am I going too far here? So, from this, what I want you to know is that you have to understand your old story on why you are a perfectionist, and you have to understand how you behave, and like what's the result of you being a perfectionist in your relationship that causes you to have this life crisis of breaking up with the person, or perhaps that causes you to increase in the problems that you have in your relationship, right? For me, it's because I'm too attached to my mother, because I need that, because I'm searching that unconditional love, I'm searching that need from the other person. So if the other person does not give me the need, I will lash out, I will fight back for that need. And the form, right, the form of rebel, or the form of me fighting back, is by lashing out, because if I don't lash out, then that person won't give me the needs, right? This is looking at it at basically an eagle eyes view, right? Because this is eagle eyes, yes, eagle eyes view. This is looking from like you're watching a film, you're watching a movie. You have to look at yourself. Okay, why am I doing all this, right? She keeps on doing this, and I keep on like overreacting. I keep on lashing out. Do I want something from her, or do I just lack of something for myself, right? Or am I just lonely, or do I just feel alone, or do I just feel lack of love from my own parents? You have to see for yourself, and that is sort of the endless cycle of chasing validation. Because if you already understand this, now you understand yourself. Perhaps your story was that you keep, like, every time you break up with a person, you keep on getting with another girl again, right? And then you keep on being, what is it? Perhaps you can actually put it here, right? This is you, right? This is you. This is a life crisis, right? You keep on being with a girl, so there's one girl, and you go back to break up. There's another girl, you go back to break up. This is the third girl, you go back to break up. Fourth girl, break up. Fifth girl, break up. Sixth girl, and so forth and so on, right? And then because of this, what happened? You suffer. You perhaps get depressed. You perhaps get exhausted of love, that you don't want to have love anymore, right? You're perhaps burned out, right? You lost track in your own work or career, right? You have lack of purpose. And then perhaps you are not developing yourself fully. Whatever that is, right? If this is you, then man, I relate to you a lot. Because my story is that, well, another story is that after I broke up with my ex from, so I was from Bali, right? After I broke up with my ex from Bali, I actually did not take time to actually fully grieve and fully understand the whole breakup, and why did I actually break up with the person. And what I did was actually I chased another girl, right? I thought it was all like fun and all, and I was trying to, because I moved cities, so I want to get with another girl. I want to do this because it's fun and all that, right? And then suddenly 7 months after, I broke up with the person again, right? Why? After a 2 years relationship that I broke up with, I got broken up with by another person 7 months after. Why do I keep on getting with another girl all the time? That's the question that you have to ask yourself if you're in the same situation like me, right? And I realized that from that point in time, from that moment where I actually talked to my mom herself, I realized that how I actually feel lonely. And what happened is, actually before that, my father passed away. I mean, I don't want to say, like, if my father didn't pass away, nothing of this will happen. I don't want to say that, right? Again, that's God's plan. This is life, right? Whatever it is to our consciousness, this is life. We just have to go through it, right? My father passed away. What does that mean? And what I found out is that, again, going back, I was missing validation. Let's just say, maybe, who knows, after if my father didn't pass away, and let's say I did broke up with my ex, last 2 years ex, I wouldn't get with another one, because my father is still there to validate me. As we know, there are two core needs, same like the mother, that a son needs from a father, and that's validation. Another one is love. And if we don't get that, or if that stops in our life, then we will suffer. And what will happen if we suffer? we will chase it externally. And what's the form of chasing externally is, if it's not to a material, if it's not to, let's say, being addicted to drugs or whatever, it's to a person. And if you're not gay, and if you're not gay, then you will chase it in a woman. I mean, if you're a man watching this, like, come on, you know, you're gonna chase it to a woman, right? And if you're gonna chase it to a woman, what will happen? You will chase, again, remember, if you chase validation with a woman, it's gonna end up horrible. You're gonna suffer. You're gonna be depressed. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna feel miserable for the rest of your life if you keep on doing this, right? And perhaps that was a story for me. Maybe if my father didn't pass away, I wouldn't actually try to find validation and love from another person. I mean, even before my father passed away, I still have that lack of dependency needs. I still wanted to get that unconditional love from my ex as well, from the woman that I was with. After my father passed away, do you think it's gonna get worse? Of course, right? Because our caregiver is the most, like, the caregiver is the one that creates and forms the whole child, forms the whole adult. My mom and dad being together, the product of who I am right now is derived, or is caused, or is formed, it's created by the love, by the validation, by the care, by effort, everything, by the affirmations of, and by the effort of the mom and dad, my mom and dad. Same goes for you. And so what I want to talk about now is the last one, which is the cost of love is grief, right? Because the rookie mistake is that, I mean, based on my experience, comment down below actually, what is your experience with a breakup? But from my experience is, I keep on chasing another validation. I keep on chasing women as a perfectionist. This video is for perfectionists, prioritizing perfectionists. You keep on chasing validation, even though you are doing good in your grades, but you want to maximize, you want to get a 10 out of 10 girl, you want to be an alpha male in a relationship, and you keep on watching these personal development or self-improvement videos by a lot of these famous, quote-unquote famous influencers that create a cult or whatever it is, right? And you keep on trying to maximize your own quality, and you keep on trying to maximize to become this alpha male. None of those work. I'm telling you right now, none of those work. You keep on doing that, man, you will suffer. You will die in your relationship. You will not foster a happy family because you're still trying to pretend to be not yourself. You still have that false self, right? And what is that false self? That false self is you trying to maximize your personality. You're trying to be that alpha male in the guy. You feel like you know everything about your relationship, but you don't. Because you keep on achieving every single thing in your work, in your career, and you're overachiever, right? You keep on getting good grades, let's say, you keep on getting good money from your business, or you keep on working, perhaps overtime in your job as well. Like, who knows, right? But you keep on externally, on the outside, on a work or on the wealth aspect of life, right? There's three categories. There's wealth. What can I write down? Hello? Oh my days. Like, there's wealth, there is health, and there is relationship. Right? There is wealth, health, and there is relationship. Right? And perhaps you are attaining good in your health. Perhaps you are achieving good in your wealth, and you are doing great in your health. in your relationship. You cannot achieve, you cannot maximize, and you cannot, quote unquote, perform, right? Because you keep on performing in other aspects of your life. But once you get to the point where you want to perform in your relationship, it's impossible. You cannot perform in your relationship, right? So you built that false self to, this is also a problem. If you keep on performing and overachieving in your wealth and health, you will end up on overachieving in your relationship. You will maximize yourself, the best qualities, the alpha male, how you talk to her and whatever that is. And you will also try to maximize her qualities as well, right? If she's a 10 out of 10 person or not, right? See, we can see here that you are your false self. You keep on trying to maximize your personality. You keep on trying to maximize her quality, right? This is all the false self, and that is the form, or that is the result of being a perfectionist, right? So now I want to be talking about the cost of love, which is grief. We have to understand that the cost of love is grief. We have to understand this. Why? Because if you see love, what's the opposite of love? The opposite of love is grief, right? Love, grief, sad, happy. What else? Well, what's the opposite of another thing, right? Laughing, crying, rain, we have sun, night, morning, right? We have to think, what is the opposite of love? It's grief. So if we never actually acknowledge ourselves to actually grief, because this is our, again, what is grief, right? Grief is actually our natural, I'm going to use yellow. What is grief, right? Grief is our natural way of releasing emotions to cleanse our body. In order to cleanse the body physically, we have to poop, right? We have to get rid of the waste inside our body, right? In order for us to get rid of the toxic in our body, we have to throw it up, we have to vomit it out, right? In order for us to kill the virus, we have to release the virus out of our body, the bacteria. In order for us to actually cleanse and to actually reset ourselves, to have a new fresh start, we have to grieve the breakup, right? We have to grieve the breakup. If we don't take time to actually grieve the breakup, what will happen is that our body will not be reset. Our body will not understand, and you will keep on repeating those toxic cycles that you don't want to in your next relationship. And if you keep on repeating, right, what will happen is that you keep on repeating, when you will become the best father? When will you get married with a person that is emotionally mature? When will you ever foster a healthy, loving family relationship? Right? So in order for you to actually break those toxic cycles, or perhaps reduce it to a very significant level, right, and you don't want to repeat it again, you have to go back to the opposite of love, which is grief, right? So now grief can be in a lot of different manner, right? Because grief is not a form, there is no formula for grief, right? But if you want me to make a video about some ways There's no like exact formula or perhaps this universal or specific ways to grieve. But here are just how I grieved my relationship and how I am still grieving my relationship as well. A few ways that I can I can get you to take notes, take down of grief. Perhaps you can grieve by telling your story. Telling your story to people. Another way you can is the most simplest way to forgive. You can also do acceptance of your own falsehood. Your own fault, I mean. Like how you hurt her and stuff, right? See, like you don't have a specific way on how to grieve. But these are some kind of like the what is it? The form of grief. People grieve by forgiveness, by forgiving the other person. People grieve by accepting it's their fault. People grieve by telling the story to other people, right? People grieve by releasing emotion. Now, this is what I call the original pain. So you really have to know your story, right? It can be your present, which is your breakup story, or it can be your old story on why you keep on repeating those toxic patterns that you didn't want to in your relationship. Perhaps it's from your mother, perhaps it's from your father. What is that woundedness in your child within, right? You tell that story to people, and when you tell the story to people, you will feel, and you get validated by those people, you will feel that cleanse. You feel that reset in your whole body, right? You also want to perhaps release emotions, right? Because your original pain, perhaps your mother did not give you unconditional love, your father and your mother divorced, let's say. Whatever it is, you actually want to release emotions. And what does releasing emotions means? The thing that it's a whole different topic, but I don't want to dive deeper because the video is going to be too long. But what you want to do is you want to find the OG pain of your traumatic scene, and you want to feel the child suffering. Because that pain is an unresolved or stuck emotions that you have to let go. Because your parents perhaps didn't allow you to feel that emotion, or there was no one there to actually validate you about your emotion or know how you felt about not being able to receive unconditional love from your mom, or validation from your father, from your dad, in the specific scene. Whatever it is, those emotions during that moment in time is stuck and unresolved. In order for you to unstuck and unresolve it, and to actually unburden, or you want to feel the child suffering. Now, in a lot of ways, you can go back to your old memory if it's safe for you, or you can also go back into your old memory with a person, with another human being that's very supportive, right? Or you want to go see your own therapist, right? If you want to talk to me about it, you can. Link in the description down below. It's not a coach or anything, but if you want to, talk to me and whatever, we can. I hope you find this video valuable, and I hope you will like the new display. If you do, then I'll keep on continuing this display. Subscribe, so you will never miss the next video, and I'll see you on another one. Thank you.